Here last Sunday, Dr. John Brumsted, CEO of the UVM Health Network, told us that of the many challenges his hospital in Burlington is now facing, recruiting doctors, nurses, to ease long wait times for patients, on top of pandemic losses and a big cyber attack. Well, this week, UVM Medical Center scored a win. Vermont regulators agreed to a big budget increase that will mean a $200 million windfall. Critics think they've made a mistake. Doug Hoffer, Vermont State Auditor, welcome back to NBC5 In Depth.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Happy to have you. I want to ask you about healthcare right off the top. Vermont's healthcare regulator, the Green Mountain Care Board, decided this week to allow the state's largest medical center to raise new revenue for the coming year. It will result in a roughly $200 million additional dollars flowing to the medical center, way above the board's own target for Vermont hospitals. What's your first reaction?
I'm not sure what they were thinking. Obviously, the hospital's job is to come in and say they need a lot of money. It's the board's job to analyze that request, and they seem to believe they did. But did they ask the question, can Vermonters afford this? Which they are required to do, but don't.
The CEO of the UVM Health Network, Dr. John Brumsted, was on our program last week, and here's a little of what he told us.
It's been our contention for several years now that our budgets have not been approved at a level that we can even cover inflationary increases. And there are things that slow down our being able to improve access and other things.
We have been reading reports about long wait times to see doctors, particularly specialists, weeks and months, and Dr. Brumsted says he's having a heck of a time recruiting. He needs more money.
I don't doubt that he's having a difficult time recruiting. I think no one doubts that. But I would question whether it's the University Medical Center that needs to serve all those people or whether other hospitals can serve some of them. If you live at the fringes of the catchment area for the medical center, you might be just as close to a different hospital. So I hope that AHS and the others are looking at the broader picture and not just at UVM.
The wait times issue isn't brand new, but it does seem to have been exacerbated by the pandemic. Isn't money necessary to help him resolve this?
I have no idea how efficient their system is. I do know that a recent physician survey here in Vermont found that 82% of all doctors are employed by hospitals. That gives the hospitals a great deal of power to determine how much care, where, and under what circumstances, and for what price. So I don't know enough about their operation. We have to take them at their word that they're doing everything they can, but that analysis hasn't been done yet.
Is the board's process broken? The Green Mountain Care Board?
I think it is, personally. The legislature over 10 years ago, when it created the board, talked about the guiding principles for healthcare reform, and that included access, affordability, reducing expenses, and so forth. On any of those measures, the answer is we haven't done very well.
This is going to raise health insurance rates for Vermonters. The money has to come from somewhere. That gets into your arena, which is affordability. You have looked at this question, healthcare spending in Vermont, particularly over time. Walk us through it. What'd you find?
Well, over the last 20 years, not all of which covers the Green Mountain Care Board's lifespan, but the average per capita expenditure for healthcare nationally grew 120%. Unfortunately, here in Vermont, it grew 167%. Had we only grown at the rate of the national average, we would have saved, are you ready, $1 billion in 2018. I remember during the Howard Dean years when we were all so pleased at our per capita numbers. We've gone in exactly the other direction.
Is there some ready explanation for that?
Some would say that consolidation has contributed to that. There's literature on this question of what happens with provider consolidation. It does provide opportunities for greater efficiencies and vertical integration, but on the other hand, it also conveys power on those fewer and fewer entities that provide the service. So there's not really a check. The board is not a bad idea, but they don't seem to be exercising their power very aggressively.
You compare the escalation in healthcare costs to median wages. What'd you find?
It's dramatic. It's not even close. Even if you stay at 3.5%, which they have not. And this year is an example. And it wasn't just UVMMC that they exceeded the goal by a lot, but there are other hospitals as part of the network, Porter and Central Vermont. So this is effectively a tax increase on the people and businesses of Vermont, a big one.
You recently put out a news release in which you wanted to highlight sort of a new feature, a consumer feature, that will help all of us at least know what we're in for ahead of scheduling a procedure or a surgery at a hospital. And you found, in your example, you used a CT scan. You found a wide disparity in the walk-away price for this same procedure depending upon where you go.
Yeah, and we've looked at some data through the state because the state has Blue Cross Blue Shield administer our self-insured plan, and we've seen the data for a couple of dozen other common procedures, and it's the same story. Why that's the case, I don't know. It may be that some hospitals benefit from economies of scale and they do more of them and others don't. I don't know. But it doesn't make any sense. And while many people have decent health insurance plans that cover most of the cost of expensive procedures and modest deductibles, many people have very high deductibles. So if you're looking at a procedure that costs $5,000 and your deductible is $5,000, you might want to know where else you could get it for less because it's out of your pocket. Certainly the case for small businesses that are self-insured. It's a problem.
Yeah, this new law that kicked in January 1st of this year, this federal transparency tool,
Yep.
It's not just CT. I mean, there are a lot of what you call shoppable procedures.
Yeah, there are about 300, I think, and it's a start. But 4 or 5 years ago, we did a job on this question about price transparency here in Vermont, which is also under the large umbrella that covers all the responsibilities of the board. And they've never done anything about this either, which is why we put this out, because they haven't. Having said that, these sites are not all as accessible as they could be or should be. So I hope that people, when they use them, if they do, will communicate with the hospitals and say it would be better, I couldn't find something, I need more information. And in fact, the key is the insurance companies have the information that's best for consumers because they know what your plan says and how much of your deductible you've used in that current year. So they should be working together, I think.
What else are you working on? I mean, typically we hear the state auditor and his team, and it's a small team in Vermont. You're focusing primarily on how taxpayer money, government money is spent. What else are you working on?
We have just completed a report that should likely be issued next week, reviewing the Agency of Commerce's administration of one of the COVID-related recovery grant programs. And they spent well over $100 million. And I won't tip my hand, but I will say we found some problems. And some might say, well, it's in the rearview mirror, what's the big deal? Well, they're still looking at creating and revising existing and new programs, and a lot more money could go out the door. So we want to send lessons learned to the legislature. You
have an audit in process on management of dams?
That has just begun. It's kind of an interesting issue. The Public Utility Commission handles the dams that are used for power generation, but the Department of Environmental Conservation is responsible for all the rest. And the state owns a number of dams itself. And there are safety issues. Normally, when you hear about dams, it's typically about whether they should be relicensed, and people are fighting about fish versus this and that. We're more interested in safety. Some of these dams are old, haven't been maintained properly. I'm sure that resources will be an issue that will define the problem.
The legislature is going to be coming back in January. Maybe sooner than that. There is a window of opportunity next month, but we've only spent a portion of this avalanche of cash Congress has appropriated to the states to help states recover. How involved are you in making sure that the money is not wasted?
The administration has never asked for my opinion, I can tell you that, and they likely won't, but we are after the fact. We are not a policy shop, although I'm a policy guy by trade, but I'm glad you mentioned that because the program we reviewed was created after an early exercise at the very beginning of COVID with a small group of hand-picked people who did not allow meeting notes, agendas. I mean, I asked to be involved and they said no. I just wanted to follow it and they said no. So they haven't reached out broadly for input from other parties and entities, which is too bad. And I think if they had, they wouldn't have made some of the mistakes they made.
I'm sure you'll be watching closely, as we all will, and we appreciate your time this morning. Doug Hoffer, the state auditor for the state of Vermont. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.